One of my followers is requesting a tutorial on how to use the Abbey Road Saturator by Waves. So let's get into it. So let's talk about the signal flow. So it goes from the input here, going to the pre-EQ, then going in the compounder section, which then goes to the saturator, and then you can EQ this sound after all the effects, which is called the post-EQ, and you can adjust the gain of the effect by adjusting the output over here. So to break it down, you have the input, which controls basically the amount of signal that you're pushing into the saturator. Then you have the pre-EQ. So it's like any other EQ, you just use this to EQ your signal before it enters in the effect. Now we have the interesting component here, the compounder. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the detail of what a compounder is, just associate compounder to exciter. So basically, you have the ratio knob. The more you go in the higher digits here, so going up to 4, the more it will distort the higher frequencies, and anything under 2.5 and below will distort lower frequencies. So just play with this knob and try to hear for a gentle clipping, soft clipping sound. And then you have here the frequency range being a high pass filter and then a low pass filter. As you can see the shape here, this sets the bandwidth of the compounder section. So basically the default setting go from 80 Hertz to 3K Hertz is the maximum range for the maximum amount of sound that's going to go through the exciter. And then you have a blend knob, which basically you can think of it as a mix knob, basically how much of the exciter, the compounder sound that you want into your signal. Then you have the saturator over here. You have two emulations here. You have the TG and the red. The TG is a solid state mixing console saturator, so it's more round and warmer. And then you have the red 17 console here, which is a valve saturator, so it's more edgy and it's more aggressive in terms of sound. Honestly, for the saturator types, just choose between both. And then with the gain here, you can push the amount of saturation that you want in your signal. And then you have this mix knob to, dictate how much of the saturation that you want to input on your signal. All to say, just choose the saturation type that you like for the instrument that's going through the plugin. And then you have the post EQ here. Here, I do minus 2.5 dB of the high end just to tame the brightness. And then I compensate with the output just to make sure when I gain compensate that the plugin is actually doing a difference and it's not just a loudness difference. So yeah, I hope this video helps. Let me know if you want a more detailed breakdown of this plugin and I'll do so. Peace.